Melanie, my wife, and I were on vacation in Costa Rica, and it was incredible. I mean, we were hiking up and down volcanoes, canyoneering through the backcountry, zip lining through the jungle, hanging out with monkeys. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. And the thing is, though, we were on the beach, and again, it was an idyllic scenario. My wife was laying out in the sun. I walked down the beach to grab a beer from a local beach cart vendor, and I was walking past. There were people over on my right that were taking surfing lessons. I was walking through ankle deep water, and like the breeze was blowing, and the sun was high in the sky, and it was literally like paradise. And I don't know the best word to describe it. Like, I wasn't just happy, I was euphoric. It was literally like a truly full body blissful experience. But in that moment is when it happened. And I remember it. It it brings up a lot of feelings inside of me when I remember, because it was, I can feel it as if it were yesterday. It dawned on me in that moment that within 48 hours, I had to go back to the real world. And for me, obviously, the real world not only meant a 40-hour-a-week job, but also chasing rents on the weekends and in the evenings. And in that instant, I went from true full body bliss to this terrible feeling of being trapped. And, obviously, the circumstances hadn't changed. I was still in Costa Rica, still in paradise, if you will. But I realized that the job and the life I had set up at home was one that I had to, quote unquote, vacate. That's where the word vacation comes from, in order to be at my happiest. And in this moment, even though I was still on vacation, just the thought of having to go back to that 40-hour work job, chasing rents, being a landlord, was enough to essentially ruin the last 2 days of the trip. And so I'm just going to say it like it was. I thought to myself, this is ridiculous. Like, there's no reason that we shouldn't be able to experience the bliss we want, when we want, for as long as we want. But when you build a life the way I had, where you have to take a vacation in order to be at your happiest, something's wrong, right? And so in that moment, I decided to take back control of my life. And I'm just going to tell you, I had absolutely no idea I was going to do that, but I made a pledge, literally, and I'm not being overly dramatic. Like, this is as real as it gets for me. I made a pledge in that moment on that beach that I was going to change whatever needed to change in order to take control of my life back. And so when I got home, it's funny, my wife says that was your crazy period. Like, I came home and just went nuts. I started researching anything and everything that I thought was going to set me free, or maybe would even give me a shot at freedom. And it wasn't long after that, maybe, I don't know, 16, 18 months after that, where I had decided I was going to buy storage and then closed on my first storage facility. I left my job, and quite literally, I haven't looked back since. That was over a decade ago, and it has been an incredible journey. And the best part is, now I get to help other people achieve the same kind of freedom by teaching them to do exactly what I did. I want to teach you the unique investing strategy that I've developed, that has worked out incredibly well for me, to the tune of making over $1.5 million on my first deal, and even more on subsequent deals. I am now generating over $500,000 a year in revenue, and my portfolio is worth over $7 million. And as much as I love that income, and believe me, I love the income, that's really only the first piece of the puzzle. Because if it took me 60 or 70 hours a week to make that kind of money, there'd be no point, because I'd have no time to spend that money or enjoy it, right? You've got to enjoy the fruits of your labor. And so I designed this system over the last decade to allow folks like you to generate as much money as you need to live the life that you want, but to do so on as little as 5 or 10 hours of work each week, so that you actually have time to live the life that you want to live. Do me a favor, sit back for a minute, and I just want you to imagine what that kind of money could do for you. What if you could live the life you want? You could go wherever you want, whenever you want, with whoever you want. And what if your bills were paid in 5 to 10 hours a week, and you were free to do whatever you wanted with the rest of the time that you had, what would you do? Would you travel, spend time with friends? Maybe you'd party a little bit. Maybe you'd make an impact. Whatever it is, it really doesn't matter. I can help you get there. My goal is to show you how you can use ordinary garages in order to create an extraordinary experience for yourself without investing a whole bunch of time or money in the process. Then I'm going to show you how to do it easier and faster with less stress, less overwhelm, and less hassle, and way more profits than anybody else. And I want to show you how you can do it in a way that it doesn't shackle you down. You don't have to deal with the tenants or the problem properties. And I'm going to show you how to do it in a way where you get to reclaim your life and start living it on your terms instead of on somebody else's. Beyond that, generating this kind of money as quickly as we're able to will give you peace of mind that you likely haven't experienced in a very long time. And what's more is you're going to be able to pass on and leave a legacy for your kids by the decision that you make today.